Hello and welcome. Today we're gonna be playing some Clan Wars and we're gonna start off with my main account and go through the different accounts as well. Also one more disclaimer, we're gonna be playing exclusively the duos mode because that's the mode that kinda matters the most. It gives the most points, it's the most difficult to learn for a newer players, and I'm gonna kinda be presenting my duel sets across every account that I own, and I hope these sets will help you get your Clan Wars wins. And okay, my opponent just has a underleveled lock, that really sucks for him. Actually, I think my opponent is playing X-Bow in the first game, which usually I struggle with this matchup with the Mortar, but it is considered to be a good matchup, so I won't complain about that. My opponent plays a very weird Fireball, probably already in a deep trouble if I had to guess. I'm gonna wait for his lock and then pop the ability, and at that point, yeah, my opponent already will be in a huge trouble. I'm gonna play Dark Goblin in the back, and yeah, as you can see, it's gonna be Skeleton King with the full ability on his tower. My opponent definitely did not play this early game carefully. I kinda got him where I wanted, and I have the Can card to defend the X-Bow if he manages to go for that as well. So yeah, very good start to the first game, and we're gonna just try to push for the 3 crown. My Can card one-shots the Ice Spirit, that's actually very sad. Yeah, my opponent will be a bit underleveled in the first game, but it is what it is about the Clan Wars. Sometimes you just have to beat someone who will be having better levels, and on this account I actually have a maxed out duel set, so I won't be underleveled in any game. Yeah, kinda sucks that I'm the bully in this game, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to comment it. It just sucks for my opponent. My opponent will actually kinda defend this tower pretty well, so I'm gonna play Dark Goblin, kinda try to get the kill on the archers and try to get away with that perfectly. I'm gonna also play... Wow, I actually didn't want to predict the X-Bow, I just wanted to go for a very aggressive Can card, but I'm gonna get the prediction anyway. Yeah, I think my opponent is just too underleveled, he cannot come back into this game. Really sucks for him. Especially this interaction where he doesn't kill the Dark Goblin, it's very unfortunate for him, because like having a immortal Dark Goblin on my side, or at least the Dark Goblin on which he has to overspend, is so painful, and like it pretty much guarantees me winning bridge fights every time I initiate it, because like I just get so much value out of Dark Goblin. Yeah, that just sucks for my opponent. Let's see if he wants to play the second game. I'm gonna cycle the log. Small casual start. My opponent will be playing Tombstone, so very likely he's gonna be playing Lava Hound. The second deck I'm gonna be showing you is gonna be the Roll Giant. I'm gonna also be playing a very modern variation with the Wizard, which is like the current popular response to things like Minions, Spirit Empress, and the card you see on the screen right now, which is the Furnace. So yeah, a Wizard turned out to be a very popular meta response to these cards, especially in duel sets where you cannot repeat these cards after playing once. So I'm actually gonna pop the Monk ability here. So yeah, like Wizard, very unutilized card that doesn't have any synergies with any other decks, kinda has found its place in RG, replacing the Hunter, which like doesn't need to counter tanks in current meta. Wizard is just better because it deals a lot of splash damage and counters like very oppressive swarm decks. So yeah, we're gonna get some damage with RG right here, which definitely will be a nice start to the game. I'm gonna actually play a blank Fishboy, trying to force out something out of him. If he plays MK on that, it's gonna be just better for me, and he's gonna actually mistime the Tombstone, very unfortunate. We're gonna play Log, just to make sure that Fishboy takes the tower down, and yeah. Right now, to be fair, I should be waiting for my opponent, but since I don't want to drag this video for too long, I'm gonna just start a push from the very back, and if he, yeah, If he counter pushes me on the opposite side, I'm gonna just go all in for the king tower and try to close this game, as unfortunately I don't trust my opponent to be able to counter push me efficiently. I'm gonna also play E-Spirit on that. I'm gonna eat the MK on the opposite side, try to get the king activation just like that. I'm gonna also kill the Inferno Dragon, which is super huge. I'm gonna play another RG, stuff like that. MK will be activating king tower and promptly will be killed by the by the towers plus Fishboy, and the RGs will be taking the 3 crowns. So yeah, that's gonna be the account number 1. See you guys on the another one. And we're in the second duel set. I actually have a very similar deck pool on this account as well. So we're gonna just go for the Mortar first game as well. The only difference is I won't be having evolutions. So that may be a bit of an issue, but realistically I don't think so. I'm gonna go for Mortar first play. I'm gonna play Bats to destroy the baby dragon and Goblin Gang to destroy the prince. Also, quick note, I have the Goblin style on this account, so probably it's pretty outdated deck if I had to say, because Goblin style was very good like a long time ago. I believe it's already a year now since the Goblin style was mainstream meta. I'm gonna try to get activation, and I do, nice. And yeah, definitely in this deck, Skeleton King will be the choice if you are trying to play the best variation of Mortar Bait. I'm gonna be playing Goldenstein because even though it's outdated, I think it still works in some scenarios. Definitely Goldenstein is better in protecting Evo Mortar, but yeah, I just don't have Evo Mortar, so it won't work right here, but overall, I don't think this deck is bad as well. Also, my opponent's Archer Queen will be out of range, which super sucks because I thought I'm gonna eliminate her right away. Have to spend more elixir on that. And I think I'm gonna just play Mortar here, trying to... Yeah, I'm gonna try to get the ability out. I'm gonna play the Miner to tank for that, and yeah. Right now, my opponent definitely is up elixir, and if he notices it... Okay, he doesn't notice it. If he did, though, he should have just ignored the bats with the Miner and went for the Prince on the opposite side, because I still was not having the gang on hand, and I also was down elixir, so definitely missed win opportunity from my opponent. And yeah, we're gonna just keep playing game because my opponent kinda let me get away with the crime. I'm gonna obviously keep going, play Goblin Stein in front of the Can card. That's also a very important combo in this deck, because unless your opponent has a very hard hitting troops, it's gonna be very hard to stop this combo. I'm gonna play Goblin Gang to try to protect the Mortar, and he actually doesn't play anything for it, so like, very weird response for that, definitely. I'm gonna play Can card as well. Ice Swiss will get 2 shots actually, that's cool. I'm gonna play Mortar as well. At this point I'm just gonna keep attacking my opponent. He plays Prince, which is definitely a play. He probably will tank the second Mortar shot as well, and he does. At this point, I really just want to attack my opponent, and unfortunately he gets the MK to defend. So Goblinstein most likely will take the cake. But yeah, I won't get a 3 crown this time. GG for my opponent. We're gonna hop to the next game, which, to be fair, if I had to play very competitively, probably would have played RG, but this time I want to kinda showcase more of a Lava Hound gameplay. So let's just go for that. I don't have Lava Hound maxed out on this account, but I have still pretty decent levels, so I think it's not gonna be too bad. My opponent already plays level 10 P.E.K.K.A, so he most likely played his main deck in game 1 and now he doesn't have sufficient levels to compete, or he just realized that he may be outmatched with levels in the next game and he doesn't believe that he's gonna win the next duo set. Either way, we're gonna be having some kind of level advantage in this game, and yeah, I'm gonna just go for the lava in the back. No need to stretch it. Normally, if I were to play competitively, I would just play Valk in the back, cycle to my Evo, play patiently. But I don't think it is necessary right here. We're gonna play the Mega Minion against his Tesla, and it's gonna definitely work out pretty well. The annoying part will be this little prince against which I would love to have the zap. I'm gonna actually play Balloon on the opposite side because now he still has to deal with the Lava Hound push, and now he will be having a Balloon to defend as well. I'm gonna play guards against the Hog Rider to not take significant damage. In fact, I'm gonna take no damage, which is super wild. And yeah, Balloon on the opposite side will take the tower. Like I've said, my opponent definitely playing a very underleveled deck, so he'll be fighting the uphill battle right here. I'm gonna play Valk against these pigs. Also, I'm gonna pair it with Zap to kinda perfectly defend, and somehow, some way, my troops will take the King Tower. Yeah, also, very unfortunate match for my opponent. I'm gonna just hop to the next account, and yeah, see you there. And we are in the third duel set. We're gonna start off with the Evo Bomber deck, which in my terminology is the Goblin Drill. It's gonna be also a very old school deck. I've made most of these duel sets like 8 months ago, where Goblinstein was meta, but like Goblinstein is not meta anymore, so the actual decks will stay, but they're not like the best decks. Also, I'm gonna showcase a very neat trick how to fully counter a Goblin Barrel, unless the Goblin Barrel is over leveled. In this case, I won't be getting a full counter, but usually, if you play the Fire Spirit and Skeletons in that order, you can fully counter a Goblin Barrel, and yeah, it's gonna be very useful, especially for my deck, which doesn't have the log but the snowball for the defense. I'm gonna play the Fire Spirit with that just to threaten something more. My opponent will be playing level 10 Valk, which is definitely an interesting play, especially after seeing the level 15 Goblin Barrel earlier in the match. We're gonna use the Bomber to activate the King Tower. Simple stuff, nothing complicated so far. We're gonna cycle the Goblinstein in the back, as it's one of the safest plays we can do with this deck. Because when we have the Goblinstein cycled in the back, we have effectively activated the 3-card cycle, which allows us to cycle through many things very quickly, and that just allows us to both attack and defend very efficiently. And the Goblinstein will just apply a lot of pressure on the opposite side, forcing out Elixir right, left, and center. We're gonna play the Cannon now and Fire Spirit to kinda try to defend. My opponent will have the Evo P.E.K.K.A, which is definitely a nuisance because it will heal after every kill, but it doesn't really matter because we have very well placed defenses. So yeah, my opponent definitely already getting frustrated, giving us the well played. We're gonna definitely take it, and once again we're gonna just continue with our plan, playing the Goblinstein in the back. We're gonna play the Goblin Drill with the Bomber. We're gonna try to get some hits in. Let's try to get the pre-Evo Snowball. Actually, I won't hit it, so it sucks. We're gonna play a Poison to get rid of the Dark Goblin. And right now, my opponent goes for the Dark Prince right here, so we're gonna just play Cannon early, kite it with the Fire Spirit. We're gonna play Skeletons to counter the Goblin Barrel because he's not sneaky. The Firecracker should be dying to poison. This Goblinstein just stayed way longer on the board than I expected, so... Okay, once again my opponent is never going for the predictable Dart Goblins. I don't think we're gonna be getting a 2-crown victory. But yeah, we're gonna still get a win. We're gonna drop a GG. My opponent, I believe, under-leveled on some cards, but his win conditions were well leveled, so I don't think it should be of our biggest concern. Right now I'm gonna actually play Royal Giant. Usually on this account I play Hog Rider, but since he wasted a lot of RG counters, we're gonna just go for the RG. Obviously, wish our opponent a good luck, and it's gonna be as well the Wizard variant, as I actually have only one evolution in this deck, and it's gonna be Wizard, which was a Evo that was given away for free. Actually, I'm gonna be showing you the best duel set that I have for free-to-play players, because it includes 5 Evos that were given away completely for free in the last year, and most of these decks are pretty easy to upgrade as well, which means like they don't include like a lot of champions. I believe they only include one champion, which is the Monk, but it also can be changed, so like it's not necessary in one of these decks. But yeah, it's just a good knowledge if you want to get a pretty decent dual deck, but also obviously if you want to play competitively, you should probably just use more of a broken decks, which like have furnaces, spirit empresses, vines, most meta defining card as for now. Cards like that pretty much are very strong in this meta. And yeah, I'm gonna play Barbarrel to try to kill the Wallies, and I succeeded at it. Unfortunately, it doesn't kite the Skeleton King, so my Wizard shield will get some damage. I'm gonna take advantage of the situation, go for RG. I'm gonna also play Fishboy with Goblins because he wasted a lot of elixir trying to defend our push, and he failed in doing so, so like it's the perfect moment to just go all in and try to take advantage of the chaos in my opponent's ranks. And that's gonna be a very successful expedition, as we're gonna take the 3 crown in the second game, and we're gonna conclude a duel on this account. See you on the next one. Okay, and we are on our lava account, so like, what's the better way to start than to play with Golem? That's right, we're gonna be playing a first game with the Golem, and my opponent, once again level 13, we'll see how he's gonna fare. At least he's well mannered. He drops good luck, very nice of him. We're gonna drop a Goblin Cage, as it's one of our evos in our deck. He respawns in kind with Barbs, which is definitely a card that I didn't expect him to run. But to be fair, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place, so we might as well just face Barbs. He plays the Executioner as well, which is definitely not a good sign if you're playing a beatdown deck, but I think we still can pull through. We're gonna play Dark Prince to kinda guide the Executioner's aggro away, and my opponent will be playing MK, so definitely an interesting deck choice. We're gonna drop a Golem in the bag because my opponent right here spent a lot of elixir. 7 to counter the MK and Goblin Cage, and then 4 additional to counter the Electro Dragon. It's gonna be definitely a good idea to drop a Golem in the back, try to take the advantage of his weakened defense, and yeah, we're gonna try to get as good as attack as we physically can. We're gonna drop the Electro Dragon as well to counter the Evo Barbs, which is definitely a pretty decent counter to Golem. Evo Electro Dragon won't allow the Lumberjack to stay alive, which definitely sucks, but we're gonna still keep pushing since we still have the Golemites alive. We're gonna try to force out the Evo MK, and if we do, we're gonna be trapping it in Evo Cage. I actually want to try something. If he plays very aggressive MK, okay, he won't be trying to do that. I was about to kinda tornado the MK into my evolved cage, which unfortunately my opponent didn't give me opportunity to do so. So yeah, we're gonna be playing the second game with the Lava Hound. So since we are up 1-0, it's usually a very good idea to go with your comfort pick to kinda try to close the series early. And yeah, we're gonna just see what happens. We're gonna zap the tower and wait for opponent to respond. He actually doesn't respond at all. It would be actually very sad if he rage quit, which is definitely possible, but I don't think very likely. We're gonna play Lava Hound because why not? Behind the... yeah, he's not responding. I think that's the rage quit. Very unfortunate, but a win is a win. I won't be complaining too much. I'm gonna just see you on the account number 5. And we're on our mini home account, and once again I'm gonna try to get a first game away with a Golem beatdown because it's just a pretty nice deck to play. We're gonna be facing Abdul Haq, which we'll see what he plays. We're gonna stop the Prince in his tracks with a Electro Dragon and Healer. Definitely not a cheap response, but I kinda don't want to afford taking the early damage. Also, we're gonna be having a baby counter push, so it's definitely worth it. We're gonna be up 1 elixir, so I'm gonna just drop an elixir collector, and we're gonna see how it's gonna fare. Also, my opponent is kinda underleveled on his king tower level, so we'll see. I've already dropped a pump. He should be very aggressive against me, but he's not for some reason. Okay, there's the Hog Rider. I usually would love to tornado it to my king tower, but right here it's not gonna be the case because I already have the pump down, so I'm just not trying to get my pump killed so early into the game. We're gonna play Golem because my opponent doesn't give me any reason not to. He also drops poison, which is super weird. And yeah, I'm gonna drop the Electro Dragon to kinda support the Golem, drop a healer in the back, and that's pretty much the flag push we're going in single elixir, which is the Electro Dragon, Battle Healer, and Lumberjack. Usually your opponent should be trying to split your push, so like counter-attacking on the opposite side definitely is the play, and my opponent is just unable to correctly counter the Golem push. Yeah, we just got a very good elixir advantage in the single elixir, and my opponent just wasn't having the best counters, so we're gonna just take a very quick 1-0. And as a second game, I think I'm gonna present the deck that I was talking about, which has Evo Wizard, which has Monk, and for everyone's surprise, it's gonna be a Hog Rider deck. So yeah, it's gonna be the deck that I was already showing on this channel. I believe it was yesterday as well, which was my mini home duel set. And yeah, it's a very popular Hog Monk deck, which is like not popular on ladder, but it's definitely popular in tournament duel settings, where like usually card pools are very limited, so many players kind of build their decks differently in this format, try to sometimes get very good matchups against some popular decks, and from like very good players' analysis, it turns out that this deck is very strong against other strong players, so it's just a good deck for me to practice if I want to ever go play competitive Clash. So I'm gonna just play Monk in front of the Wizard, try to get a scary push going. Yeah, he's gonna get a Lightning, which is definitely a response you can go with. I'm gonna play the Hog and the guards on the opposite side because my opponent is spending just a lot of elixir against this Monk, and I think that's gonna actually secure the tower. I'm gonna play Snowball on defense, maybe not necessary Snowball, because I still could have just taken a Bomber Shot and I would have been safer against every other pressure. But the thing that I've noticed about like clan wars, duels, and playing against like worse people than you in general is that if you manage to kinda get the interactions on your side very early into the game, your opponent is very likely to get frustrated and leave, which is definitely not something you should rely if you try to compete in the game, but it's something that you can kinda abuse when playing against lower ranked players. So yeah, some cheesy tips I would say, but okay, I actually thought that Snowball will close the game, but it is not the case. We'll have to cycle to another EQ, and that's gonna close the today's video. So yeah, I've dropped 5 of my Clan Wars duel sets for you in today's video, and I hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow I'll be dropping a long form content, so yeah, stay tuned for that. And if you enjoyed, typical smash like. Thank you if you did, and if you didn't, well, I'll try to convince you next time. So yeah, till tomorrow, see you guys, peace.